Uh, Hi Nidra, bit of good advice there. It's amazing it hasn't changed, has it? It's thousands of years, we still seem to be living in the dark ages. Uh, but as for that video, it was too awful in the end. I had to stop watching it because uh, they seemed to have a bunch of idiots now. That's supposed to uphold the law. Uh, it isn't so much up here. I think the idiots we have up here happens to be more at the top than at the bottom on the beat. But basically, somehow, when I look at it, I feel that the uniform has changed from the old biblical days when they used to send these guys to march people to the cross, and the public was nothing, but all it's the difference today is that people seem to just accept it, as it's just the same way as they did in the past. Well, we're supposed to have a better democracy, but I wonder. I think the ruling classes, going back even right to the biblical days, they knew how to keep a portion of the people on their side and keep control of the rest. And you could see it so quite visible today on YouTube, where you get somebody posting a video about some injustice, and you get other people intervening and coming out with other scenarios on the situation that one sees. But as for that video, what I can't understand is how the officer could totally ignore the urgency of that was needed to. As an officer, he should take charge and do his duty, but at the same time, he should have called an ambulance or something and cover himself that way, but to plod on, to totally ignore someone that is telling you that they need help is absolutely appalling, but it doesn't surprise me at all in the society we live in today, because everything is so twisted and corrupted. It's in some way it makes you wonder the sort of people that we're living amongst. We hear of people saying how appalling it is and whatever, but nothing seems to be done about it, and this thing will, the amount of times I've seen people get beaten up by the police in the States on video, and it still happens again, and it nobody seemed to care, because people say, oh, it's disgraceful, etc., but things still go on as the same as normal, as if nothing matters anymore, as long as we have this divided society that you got, like what you mentioned, the class distinction, where you got a group of people that have their mouths sewn up that whole positions that could do something about it, and won't say nothing. They don't want to rock the boat because they're getting a healthy wage and a healthy lifestyle. And you get another group of people, which are the working classes, that are frightened to say anything, or do anything about it. And when they do, they've got the same thing that once upon a time that probably Jesus had to succumb. This army of batons and stun guns and God knows what else down upon them. CS gas and you name it, they got it. So it's a very difficult situation that we, the normal working people have and still are in today. But a lot of it is due to the sort of people tend to tolerate this behavior. Nobody seems to have any interest in other people's problems. They moan about it and say how terrible it is, but nobody comes up in arms against it. And society can plod on the way, say, well, let them moan for a little while and they'll go away and go back to work again in the morning, full stop. But I think if we really seriously want to put a stop to all this type of behaviors, we need to follow these cases through. There's no use of saying, oh, well, I hope she'll sue them for what they can get. But to get solicitors today in this world to represent you and really represent you is asking for miracles, because they're not on the people's side. They're on the side of the government, big companies, insurance companies. So I think if you really want to start to create a decent society that don't tolerate this behavior, and if you want this behavior to come to a stop, you need to follow this case through. YouTube need to find out what is it worth, when you have an asshole behaving like that to your wife or somebody's mother, somebody's sister, treating them like shit. What is it worth? Let's follow this girl's case through and see what does she get for losing a child and being treated like a lump of shit. And probably we might know the answer, and then we might begin to understand why this sort of problems keep recurring. Because I feel that it doesn't hurt the society, it doesn't hurt the insurance companies for what pittance they pay them for behaving like this, and it's quite alright for them to go on to behave like it again. I think it's when you start stinging the insurance company and the society that we won't tolerate this behavior. And any officer that starts to behave like this knows that he may lose his job, and the insurance company that insures the police force will have to pay a hefty fine for this type of behavior. We need to find out what are the answers. What does it cost to treat somebody like shit and allow them to lose their child or whatever that they're carrying, and that's the only time when you're going to get some real results, sort of what is happening, and keep it reoccurring, is because we don't follow things through. We just say how terrible it is, mourn about it, and say, I hope they get sue them for what they can get, but full stop. And the reality is they don't get nothing for it, and they don't get any good representation. I shouldn't think the solicitors in the States and over here is any good to the working man. I think if you're Michael Jackson or somebody with, that's already got loads of money, you probably get, a good amount of compensation for it. But for working people, I would love to know what she's going to get for what has happened to her. And we all should be interested. We all should see, is there justice, attached to this form of behavior? I hope that we all could see it that way.